Let's get started. Good evening. My name is Nigeria Chambers. I'm from Big Gold Belt Media. Joshua and Mark, my friends. It's a pleasure to talk to you both today about your new film, The Exorcism, coming to theaters June 21st. How you two doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm well.
You're like Josh is like, I'm sorry. I think I answered for both of us. Josh,
No, I'm like looking at my bags on the screen. So if I
uh,
just talk like this for the rest of the interview, how's that?
I
I'm
know.
How's that?
cool with
Looking
it.
at this shirt, I've been looking at this shirt for an hour and a half, thinking, why did you let me leave the house wearing this today? This looks
I
terrible
am.
on me.
Anyway,
Anyway, whatever.
we're vain. We're clearly vain.
No, but we've had to like look at ourselves on
There's a
friggin'
giant
Zoom.
image of us that we can't stop staring
Yeah.
at.
How do we get rid of our own
Oh,
camera?
it's
How
just
do we?
annoying.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? We're gonna change the view.
This goes right into
Ah,
my first
thank
question.
you.
This
Whoa.
this this goes right into my first question because the band is back together after your 2015 project, The Final Girl. So I want to know, what was that conversation like, not only coming together to co-write, and then obviously we have somebody stepping back into the director's chair after a long hiatus. So I just want to know, when the conversation started and y'all had this idea and you started to kind of map out the story and whatnot. What was that conversation like? Why was it the right time now?
Well, I mean, we've been together for 20 years as a couple, and we've been working on a bunch of other stuff. So it wasn't really so much of a coming back together as just like, oh, this is the thing that's seems to be coming together. I mean, it has its own whole story, but
We're here for it.
I mean, I mean, I don't. I mean, what? It's hard. I don't remember totally because this is a little bit of a long process. This movie,
Yeah.
it's elongated because of the pandemic. But I would
Yep.
say that part of, I mean, why does anything happen? It's always an accident.
yeah,
It's always an accident. It's oh,
Yeah.
things that the things that you want to make really and you push and beg for are harder to get made. And the things that are accidents somehow like are the ones that go right away. And you're just kind of on the magic carpet wild ride of like, what's happening?
right.
You
Yeah.
know, and it's not ideal to do that. You sometimes want to have a little bit more of like a focus and a specific goalpost. But I think that there are happy accidents, and I think there's a lot of happy accidents that resulted in this experience that's been incredibly challenging because
Yeah.
of pandemic and other factors. So, but it's good to be on the other side of it. It's good to finally, close a chapter because it was
Yeah.
like, oh, when can this be over? When can we just finally get this movie out? When can we just move on? Because it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard as a filmmaker, I think, to think about I mean, we're working on what's next and we're working on different things, but as a like a movie, because we've been working like on books and other projects and TV stuff, but as a movie, as a director, it's hard to just like think about anything until this is like done. And finally
Yeah.
now it's like we're free.
It's coming out.
It's coming out.
It's
I
happening.
I swear I say it all the time. As somebody who consumes entertainment, I'm always thankful for you folks. At the times risking your lives, and in a world of uncertainty, we had this plague that's going across the world, and you all were still very ambitious to still get a project done. So, and I understand, as independent filmmakers, at the rate of, well, when does it come out? How does it come out? Who's going to see it? Will we go back to the theaters and so on? So I think it's a very validating like feeling right now to just be thankful to just getting to this point, because let's not forget where we came from just a few years ago, where we didn't know any answers to anything, and
No,
this is definitely a win.
you know what? Exactly. I was just thinking this a couple minutes ago. The movie's gone through so many versions just because the process took so long
Yeah.
and so much. I'm thankful that a lot of our vision is in there, but when you're making a movie with a studio, there's unfortunately so many concessions to be
Especially
made.
when there's so much time elapsing between things, it gives
Yeah.
people more things to like want to change or
Yeah.
fuss with because they panic because who knows
Yeah.
where or when the movie's going to come out or whatever. It's just like
Let's just let
COVID is really like it's well,
let's just say I'll never make anything again if I don't have Final Cut, right? And so that's happening. And I don't mind if people hate our movie, because it goes back to what you just said, which is it's really important that film stay alive and that cinemas are there and that films play in theaters and that we're having a conversation about movies
Yep.
and that
Little
and
experience.
that we don't let the bad guys win, aka tech people who have taken over Hollywood, and that we still have movies out there, and that the fact that it's hitting 2,000 screens on Friday is bonkers, and or at least close to that, if not more. And so I think it's just it's great to just celebrate that factor
Yep.
alone, especially in the culture we have where nothing comes out anymore. And there are people who love the movie too, but it's one of those things where we have to go out and promote something, but we also know like the behind the scenes challenges of like,
Yeah.
well, we could argue like we like half the movie or a third of the movie, or I personally feel like I have my particular loves of the movie, and then I have issues with other things that were out of our control. But
Yeah.
as a pretty much first time filmmakers, because we collaborate on everything together, it's look, it's a process of attrition, and sometimes it's death by a thousand cuts, and you
Yeah.
have to remember the next time you make a movie to not let that happen. But I think at the same token, it's awesome to be sitting here talking about the movie and talking about story and talking about narrative, because you know what? Most people in the world are at home sitting, wondering maybe one day they're going to walk out their door and buy paper for their printer to print out their screenplay. At least we have the delusions of grandeur to do that.
Yeah. I really like you, man. That shares a lot of the same sentiments of what I do here with my outlet and why I'm a critic, is because I'm very pro independent films, and again, considering all of the ramifications of the plague, and people just take for granted just all of the hard work and sacrifices that you as filmmakers have to go through in order to get a project out. And they don't see the hard work and the blood, sweat, tears, the empty bank accounts, the where am I going to lay my head at night for the sake of getting a project out. So that's why these interviews mean so much. And I always want to take the time out to talk to you folks. And trust me, I'm gonna be riding with you all for the next projects on, because I can see it right now in your eyes that you're very determined to get more work done and more projects out. So on that note, I'm completely happy with even just this time spent. I do have a few more questions I want to ask, if you don't mind.
Of course.
The first
I'm
thing,
kidding, I'm saying thing.
the first
Yes,
thing,
no, yes, no.
the retitling of the project, was that a studio decision, or was that your decision, or what
Studio
was
decision.
behind it?
Correct.
Studio. Okay.
Next.
Okay. I with that all the way. Was there any, because with the idea of this film being a film within the film, was there any supernatural or any crazy things happening in terms of outside of the pandemic that happened on set with you all?
No, only evil in people.
No.
Next.
Now, I also want to put some respect on y'all, because I did my research, and people jump to conclusions before they do that. This film was completed in December of 2019, correct?
Completed.
Not completed. No, there was
there were sequences that were like, oh, don't worry, we'll get to it in reshoots. And then reshoots were scheduled for like April of 2020, and then they didn't happen. And then time starts to elapse, and then you can't get everybody back in the same room to shoot the things that need to be shot. So then instead of shooting the things that are originally scripted, suddenly people are doing these little pickups here and there with individual actors and piecing it. And so, it's like that's just the fucking breaks sometimes, like it's just of like in the of all the things that, and pardon me for cursing, please bleep me. I'm
No,
sorry.
please go for it.
But like, of all the things that feel run of the mill in terms of like when you're on a set making a movie, and of course there's like 100 headaches a day.
Yeah.
None of us in a million years were like, well, we can't. Well, reshoots could be interrupted by a worldwide pandemic, but that was just not really something that was foreseeable.
Yeah. You all have a phenomenal cast. Like up and down the board, from Ryan, Sam, Adam, Chloe, and then obviously your star and lead in Russell. Did you all in the Russell?
You better stop.
Oh,
Did you all in imagine years in terms of getting this project done? ever thought that you were going to have a stacked cast from top to bottom.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you gotta think
I mean,
big.
yeah, like if you don't kind of sort of write roles that you know are meaty enough for people to sink their teeth into, then
I would not say I thought it was gonna be Russell Crowe.
no,
That's for sure.
That was a total surprise.
I was like, what?
Yeah, we did not write the role with him.
He wants to be in it? Okay.
Not a chance.
I loved, and on that note, because when I first saw this film, and I'm sure this is a question that got brought up, is that one thought: is there continuity between this and the Pope's Exorcist? Obviously, Russell.
I don't know.
I don't know her.
I don't know if you all drink beer or tea or wine or whatever it may be, but I want to have that with you all. I swear.
Oh, this is tequila. It's it's
Pope's Exorcist? What's that?
yeah, we don't know.
But understanding that Russell was the lead in both of these films, and this film was obviously the first of the child, so we really saw the essence of him tapping into a particular character here, having him on this film, and as you said, it was a surprise for him to be the lead. It knocks it out the park. I mean, everybody knows his talent. I wanted for you to, if you could speak a little bit about his performance, him being a part of the project. And then also just that pinch you moment when you realize like we're actually filming Russell Crowe here.
Well, I'll talk about the artist. I won't talk about the person.
Fair.
So I will say as an actor, he's amazing and he is extraordinary as an extraordinary instrument. I don't like bullies.
Mm.
I don't like bullies. And there's a moment in making this movie where you have to realize you have a moment where you go, am I going to be a diplomat in this situation? Am I going to be a hard ass? And you realize the only way through is being a diplomat. That's all you can do in these situations. And I think that in my experience in life, bullies want to make you scared. And if you react, you're giving them what they want. Right? You're giving them what you want. You have to remain elegant. Now, sometimes you have to fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to.
Yeah.
But the truth is that I'm a queer kid and I was bullied a lot. So when I'm bullied, I get triggered.
Yeah.
And I was triggered in this process.
Making movies is fun and easy.
Hey, really quickly, because I know I'm about to come up on my time. Just on that note alone, again, as I am very looking forward to seeing you two back to work. What would be some advice or tools in order to create a safe environment on the work set?
Make sure there's no bullies. You got to do some due diligence. You know what? A movie is an ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anything that you need to keep the fucking positive energy among everybody and joy and excitement of creation.
Because even on the best experience, it's hard.
So you need to
keep hard.
This needs to feel like summer camp.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino's sets are summer camp. He doesn't suffer fools. That's the key. So that's the key for a filmmaker. Obviously, a good script, blah blah blah. But like all the basics. But in terms of like the practical, yeah.
I love to hear it. Mark and Joshua, thank you so much for the time. The Exorcism is coming to theater June 21st. I look forward to talking to you all very soon again. Congratulations.
Okay. It was great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye.